Narottama loino sharana Narottama loino sharana Chiradina tapita jivana Dina tapita jivana Shirupa manjari parase mora sampada Shirupa manjari parase mora bhajana pujana Se mora bhajana pujana Se mora pranadana Se mora yabarana mora pranadana Se mora jivane jivana Se mora jivane jivana Se mora jivane jivana Se mora jivane jivana Jaya Rupa Manjari Jaya Rupa Manjari Rupa Manjari Jaya Rupa Manjari Jaya Rupa Manjari Rupa Manjari Rupa Manjari Prabhu He 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 Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Gaura Premanande Jai Shri Narottam Das Thakur Ki Anything else? There's one more.
Also, there's you know who has that really sings that really nice is Samuki.
Where is she? Sumuki! Oh, you guys don't want to come for bhajans? Please come. Take books.
She likes this one.
Here, we'll call out the page numbers. So let's sing a different one. Sumuki, we're calling you to the room to sing Yankali Rupa. Yeah, that'd be nice. Maybe we'll sing one in between.
There's also
Vishaya,
sorry.
Vishaya Vasana Rupa. You can sing this one. Vishaya Vasana Rupa.
You already did Shri Rupa Manjari Pada?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Vishaya Vasana Rupa. Chitara Bikara Vishaya Vasana Rupa Chitara Bikara Vishaya Vasana Rupa Chitara Bikara Amadaridaye Boga Kaveyani Bar Amadaridaye Boga Kato Je Jatanayami Korila Mahoy Kato Je Jatanayami Korila Mahoy Nagelo Bikada prana jai nagelo sheshe prana jai nagelo bikada buddhi sheshe prana jai nagelo bikada buddhi ego vikada mode karilo astira ego vikare more karilo astira shanti na bailo shana antaradira shanti na bailo shana antarayadira Shri Rupa Goswami Mode Kripa Bitariya Swami Mode Krishna Bitariya Udari Bekabe Jukta Vairagyar Piya Kabeshanatana more Chadaye Vishaya Kabeshanatana more Chadaye Vishaya Nityanande Samarpibe Hoya Shaddai Nityanande Samarpibe Hoya Sadai Shri Jiva Goswami Kabe Siddhanta Shalile Goswami Kabe Siddhanta Salile Nibai Betara Kanal Chita Jahe Jwale Betana Kanal Chita Jahe Vale Shri Chaitanya Nama Shune Udipa Pulaka Shri Chaitanya Nama Shune Udipa Pulaka Radha Krishna Mrita Pane Haiva Ashoka Kangalera Sukana Dujana Ejan Kangalera Sukangala Sujana Ejan Kangalera Sukanga Dujana Ejan Vaisnavara Charana Sajate Yakinchan Avisaya Rachana Rupa Chitera Dikar Amara Hridaye Bhoga Kare Anibar Jayo Rupa Goswami, Jayo Rupa Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Jayo Rupa Goswami. Jayo Rupa Manjari, Jayo Rupa Manjari, Rupa Manjari, Jayo Rupa Manjari. Jayo Shaptam Goswami Shila Bhakti Vinod Shaptam Goswami Shila Bhakti Vinod Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Hitendra Prabhu? Bolo?
There's the Shri Gandharva Sampardhan Astikam.
But Vasanti is the best with this one. She plays the harmonium with that one.
What about Krishna Deva Bhavantam?
Yeah. Yeah. You want to sing Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande? You know this bhajan? Goes Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Yes.
Page 343.
Sorry, buddy.
No problem. You know Christian Devan? Oh, here we go.
Krishna Bhavan Tam Vande
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Mana Manasa Madhukaram Mana Manasa Madhukaram Arpaya Shapada Paragande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Yadyapi samadishu vidirapi Pasyati natava nakaramarsi Yadyapi samadishu Idam chami nisham pushta Tadapi kripad bhuta vichim Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Bhaktir Udan Jati Yadyapi Madhava Nahyai Mahadratri Parameswar Tatad Api Tavadika Durdhata Ghatana Vedarti Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Ayam Avilolata Daya Sanatana Kalitadbhuta Rasambharam Nivasutu niyam ihamarta nindani vindan madhuri masaram. Krishna Bhavantam Vande. Deva Bhavantam Vande. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Jaya Jaya Guru Dev Jaya Guru Dev Jaya Guru Dev. Krishna 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 Hari Bol.
Okay, then I want the attention. Radhe. Jaya, Jaya. Oh, page 341. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Brinda Vipineshe. Shri Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Vrishabhanudati Navashashi Leke Lalita Sake Guna Ramita Vishake. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Shri Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Karunam Kuru Mai Karuna Borite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Borite Shri Rupa Sanatana Vanita Charite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Shri Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Rupa Goswami, Jaya Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami, Jaya Rupa Manjari. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Hari Bol.
Welcome everyone to our SVA Rupa Goswami conference. Ki Jai. So we'll start. We have already some aligned speakers to speak, but we know we have so many senior devotees here, like Anita Didi flew in, and Mother Anchari is also here. So if you guys would like to speak on Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari, you're more than welcome to. But maybe we'll start with Madhusudan Prabhu. He'll speak on Ram Kellygram, the meeting of Rup and Sanatan, and then we'll shift to different speakers as we go on. But if you feel inspired, please feel free to speak something. We'd love to hear from you. So Madhusudan will start, and then we'll go from there. You ready?
Can I sit though? Is it okay?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, do we have somebody else's phone that I could look up the verses?
You're not ready, maybe. Mother
Yeah,
Anchari,
I
do you
have
want
all
to
my-
speak something on Rupa Goswami? A little bit?
Yeah,
Few
few
words.
seniors more talk. I'm gonna go get my phone so I can have the pictures and everything. No, Android.
Okay, so who's ready?
Yeah,
Gada Gada?
I'm ready, but very, very busy.
Kick us off then. If you're ready, then let's start. Are you sure? Yeah.
Alright. Well, maybe I just don't have my phone. Content.
Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tvadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravijantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Tarua Juhava Putreti tanmayataya tarabo benedus tam sarva bhuta hridayam munimanabdosmi bhaktya vihina aparada lakshaye chiptasya kamaditarangamadye kripa maitvam sharanam prapana Vrinde namaste charanarabindam Tavaivasmi najivami tvaya vina Iti vigaya radhe tvam nayamam charanantite Hadevi kaku bharagadgadaya vacha Yache nupata bhuvidandamudbhadritate Asya prasadam avudasya janasya kristya Kandarvike nijagane gananam videhi Shri Chaitanya manobishtam stapitam yena bhutale Swayam rupa kadamayam dadanti swapadantikam. Haribol. First offering unlimited Dandavat pranams unto the holy dust of the lotus feet of my worshipful Diksha Guru Devi Srimati Shamrani Didi. Similarly, obeisances under my Shiksha Gurudev Nitula Pravishtam Vishnu Parastar to the Sachi Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and similarly to Srila Nitya Pravishtam Vishnu Parastar to the Sachi Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the entire Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and on this holy day, especially to Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, begging for his causeless mercy upon this worthless servitor. And Dhanavad pranams to all devotees, headed by my seniors, Hare Krishna. So, Srimati Shamrani Didi has asked many of us to speak something on Srila Rupa Goswami, on different subjects. Prabhu speaking on Namastakam, right? Tirthapad speaking on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Rath Yatra. Deep Mood, maybe. Okay, I shouldn't make claims. Oh. And so she asked me to speak on what is Rupa Nuga? What is the meaning of Rupa Nuga? Very amazing subject matter and pretty important for us, being in the line of Sri Rupa. So we know the source of all, Adi Govinda, is Shri Krishna, who is Rasaraj. He likes to taste ras. He likes to taste varieties of spiritual relationships. And as we know, one of his names is Ram, Radhika Raman, Radha Raman Bihari. And he has an energy called Tatasta Shakti, marginal potency, in which he himself manifests as Jiva. And in the Jiva, he creates a particular type of ras in which he wants to taste, which he desires to taste. And so there's two types of jivas. There's a nitya mukt jiva, liberated soul, and then there's bada jivas, who experience this material energy since time immemorial, 8,400,000 species, going like that, bahir mukh. And so we hear in Chaitanya Charitamrita that the actual nature of this soul is das, jivara swarupoi, krishnara nitya das, krishnara tatasta shakti, beta beta prakash. So he's locating us, who we are, what is actually our nature as an eternal servant of Krishna. And through the mercy of Rupa Goswami and many of our acharyas, they've given an expanded explanation of what it means to be das. And so, bottom line, every soul is eternally a servant. But this servant mood, as it increases and churns, actually becomes manifest as an eternal, beautiful, spiritual form with mood, a type of love and affection for Krishna, and actually in many different forms even. But there's so many souls which that he's planted a seed that have moods of Braj. And our Srila Gurudev Narayan Maharaj, he really opened this up. And he would say, Krishna has such a beautiful spiritual body, and I want to tell you that so do you. So do you. You have a beautiful spiritual body. And so he explains that this becomes revealed to us at a certain path in our a point in our bhakti, coming semblance in a Shakti, and some first ray of glimpse at Bhav Bhakti. And but this line, this pretty line, which Prabhupada explained to us, is there. It leads nowhere else other than our perfected spiritual eternal service to Radha and Krishna, or wherever the soul is meant to be. So it's a super amazing and spectacular thing to come to understand. Oh, I have a perfect spiritual body that has a particular eternal service to the divine. And so, yeah, very amazing. So this is called Ekadasi Bhavs. Ekadasi Bhav, the eternal attributes of the soul, name, form, bodily limbs. And so there's material energy, which is transforming endlessly, and it's not fixed. And so our bodies here are always going. But in the eternal time, in the eternal realm, we have a fixed body, a fixed relationship. But fixed is not boring. It's called Nitya Yavat Namana. It's ever increasing, becoming more and more beautiful, more enfreshed and enchanted and on fire for service to Krishna. And so when a sadhaka comes into bhakti, they go through a progression of what's called Vaidhi Bhakti, which is prompted by a fear of the consequences of not performing bhakti. But over time, as this nature becomes manifest, there's a verse there, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sajya Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddhachitti Korya Udai, that through the process of hearing and chanting, then one's chitta becomes purified. And then through the mercy of a bona fide Mahabhagavad Acharya, Nitya Siddha, one receives the blossoming of their Krishna Prema, the blossoming of these inherent moods. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Nitya Siddha means eternally perfected. So Nitya Siddha refers to a personality, like I was saying, who's a soul who's not confused about what they're supposed to do, and they're eternally in a relationship with God, and so they're from a spiritual platform, and so they come down into this material energy to help us, to guide us. So this we refer to as guru. So by the mercy of such guru, then one's all of this inheritance that's there in the deepest core of our heart and our soul, it becomes opened, gradually opened and revealed. And our Gurudev, he said that by hearing from a Rasik Tattva Gyan Vaishnava, he would say Rasik Tattva Gyan, then greed can come, greed for these moods. And so he said that's the main way one develops actually into this, is through the process. It's called Lobha Mayi Shraddha. So Shraddha, not just I'm going to follow these rules and regulations for whatever, to get something out of it, mundane, or, so many explained Karma Mishra, Jnana Mishra, Yoga Mishra, all these things, which Rupa Goswami actually has explained beautifully enough, charted this whole path. And but he would say Lobha Mayi Shraddha, and he would give the example of like a dog who would be outside of a sweet shop. In India, all the shops are open so you can see inside. And the dog sees like these beautiful Indian sweets, rasagula, and he wants these. Wow, that looks so good, you know. So he develops some greed by seeing and hearing. So Gurudev says, similarly, by hearing Braj Leela Katha from the Rasik Tattvagyan realized Vaishnava, then one develops greed for a mood in which they're hearing, and that the mood in which they develop will automatically and naturally be connected to their natural eternal relationship. Like he gives the example in Damodarastakam that one might hear the pastime of Yashoda chasing after baby Krishna, tying him up to the binding mortar and kissing him on the cheek, you know, and say, maybe I could tie up Krishna and kiss him on the cheek like that. He gives the example, but then he says that, but who kisses Krishna on the cheek much more than Mother Yashoda, Srimati Radhika? Much, much more. And so by hearing these pastimes, it's watering and inspiring this treasure from within. And so Rupa Goswami himself has said, Tistan Braje Anuragi Jananugami, that part of the essence of all advice is to follow in the footsteps of a personality who is an ocean of the moods in which we aspiring for the completed success of our aspiration. And so it's explained in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sampradaya that the mass majority of personalities who are coming into this Sampradaya will follow such person named Rupa Goswami. Prabhupada said he's the supervisor of this Krishna consciousness movement. And so we see in Braj the significant rasas there, Dasya, Sakya, friendship mood with Krishna, Vatsalya, paternal, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba, and then Madhurya, sweet loving relationships with Krishna. So many gopis headed by Srimati Radharani, Krishna's eternal divine counterpart and consort, Srimati Radharani. And so within this Madhurya Ras, there's twofold aspects. There's the direct Madhurya Ras, those who have an intimate relationship with Krishna as a lover directly. And then there's a very unique, special section of those who serve those who are the Ashraya or the beloved of Krishna in Madhurya Ras. And those who serve Srimati Radharani, who's the highest of the lovers of Krishna, are called manjaris or maidservants, who are headed by this Rupa Goswami. And so why would someone want to serve Radharani? Why would someone, the question is why Radhadasyam? They say Radhadasyam. Well, it's actually the most humble and the most sweet position, because it's actually the highest degree of selfless service to Krishna. The spiritual platform is based on the principle that I want everything for Krishna's happiness. That's the fundamental platform. And so the highest servant of Krishna, who gives Krishna the most happiness, is Srimati Radharani. And her service is unparalleled by anyone forever. And so the maidservants, by serving her, their energy contributing to her service will give Krishna the most, the most joy, the most bliss, the most ecstasy, and the most love. And so that's actually the beautiful selfless mood of the maidservants of Srimati Radhika. And then one more point on this, which is high thing, but today's the day. There's a speciality of these younger girls that in Radha and Krishna's pastimes, there's beautiful secluded locations where they can talk and they can meet privately. And like I said, Radharani is Krishna's dearmost beloved. And Radharani has Kaya Vyuha. She has other expansions. Actually, Gurudev explains that every gopi is a expansion of Srimati Radhika's different moods. Like we have different moods, you know, but they're not different than. So she actually expands as all of these gopis, but they're a little bit older. And if they want to come into the secluded groves or the pastime places where Radha and Krishna are mixing most intimately, then Radha and Krishna, they would actually feel a little shy around them. They can't be so relaxed and open and engage however they want. But that's not the case with these younger girls, maidservants of Radharani. They can be in the mix of these most intimate pastimes of Radha Govinda. So it's explained there that there's no higher position than the service in this most intimate place of Radha Govinda's eternal Leela. And actually Srimati Radharani, or Srimati Shamarani Didi, well I guess both, but Shamarani Didi has revealed a glimpse into this scene in the form of Seva Kunj. This is actually the scene that we're talking about here. And time. And so, yeah, and Gurudev said, this is my heart. And so this is actually the whole Rupanuga Guru Varga. This is the treasure that for the majority of us is there for us. And so we can pray to Rupa Goswami on this day. Thank you so much, and please, please, please reveal this to us in our hearts. Gaur Premanandi Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah.
I'm gonna sit a little strange just because my knee's still in a weird. My knee. Murisu done really nice work on my back and knee this morning, but it's still gonna take a little bit of time. I feel weird. Let's see. I mean, no, that's also like if I'm. It's like easier for me if I'm like speaking to be able to like sit on the floor. Let me try.
Comfortable then. Let's move it here so everyone can see you.
Okay, that is better. Okay, so Oma Gyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shilakaya Chakshunamilitam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Goda Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Vana Iti Namane Vandeham Bhakti Chukonam Gauranga Nija Prashtitam Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Samivananamastubhyam Shridhara Eka Nishtitam Rasayana Katam Natam Sankirtanam Nandadam Gosaminam Varam Namaha Shamaranim Mataram Vande Agnopi Yad Anugrahat Labet Baba Sagarachcha or Tagarat Baba Sagarachcha Labet Krishna Premadanam Shri Krishna Rupaya Vaidaki Kalavasheshignaya Namamyaham Pujayam Shamaranim Suparikadaya Haribo Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoyibe Akute Akuti Prat Kabehama Puja Bose Yugala Priti. For my obeisances unto my initiating spiritual master, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vanga Samaraj, my Shiksha Guru, Pujaniya Srimati Sharmani Didi, to all of our Rupanuga Guru Varga, and to Rupa Goswami on this day, and then to all of you, thank you, because without you, we get to talk about this and think about it, and be, for me, get to be challenged to see what I can speak about. And so I get to speak about Sri Krishna Namashtakam, and admittedly, I was like kind of. This is what I wanted to speak about. I'd asked our friend and brother Nishringa Prabhu what I should speak about, and he said you should either do what is Rupa Nuga or speak about Krishna Namashtakam. And I then said, Vasanti, which of these two should I speak about? And then, so anyway, so she had initially said, okay, Hardas can speak about what is Rupa Nuga. But I was like, okay, I kind of want to speak about Krishna Namashtakam. Give me a chance to learn it a little better. And Shriman Prem Prayojan Prabhu years ago, like at GVO, said to me, like, learn this ashtakam. And I haven't. I mean, I've read it a few times in the English and tried studying it a bit, but I don't have it memorized. And so I also want to admit that for me, I didn't read it yesterday. I didn't read it this morning. But I'm gonna read through it, and for everybody here, just talk about my understanding of what he's saying. And so the reason why I'm attracted to Sri Krishna Namashtakam is, it's on page 326. The reason why I'm attracted to this ashtakam as well is because it's speaking about the glories of the holy name. And from my understanding, the holy name is our ultimate goal. It is non-different from Krishna himself, and additionally, it is more merciful than Krishna himself, because if we're worshipping, I forgot what the exact reasoning is, but the greater mercy is that the name we still gain securities from, even if we have no idea what we're doing, we have no idea what we're saying, we just happen to be saying it. It can be completely and totally offensive, but we can still actually gain benefit. In fact, a person like Nam. I don't want to get actually too deep into some of the tattva yet. So that's the mercy of the holy name. And from my understanding, the name itself is our goal. What's quite amazing about this process is that our practice is the same as our goal. And if one is practicing, say, like what's thought of as regular meditation, one's meditating upon an object, and once one has achieved their desired goal, which in standard meditation, what we think of as meditation would mean no more no more suffering, no more attachment to the material. After that, they then discard the object that they had used to get there. Whereas in this case, that point, that is the ultimate goal of what's today is considered to be standard meditators. That's actually the starting point for us. And rather than discarding the object, our realization and relationship with that object becomes deeper. And so the one other thing that has always that's really struck me is when Guru Devi first met Srila Bhakti Vigamparati Goswami Maharaj. She said that one thing that was so attractive is that he wasn't just looking at her and be like, "You're the best because you're the painter." He was. It had a very different relationship, and when I believe it was Shivananda Prabhu said to him, "She's the painter. She painted all those paintings." He said something to the effect of, "I would be impressed if she was performing Nam Bhajan." So, and to me, I also really wonder, what does Nam Bhajan mean? I asked Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Maharaj, what is Bhajan? And so, Bhajan, we do what's called sadhan and bhajan. Sadhan is our practice, and then bhajan, to me, it was a big question mark. Oh, it's worship, but what does that mean? There's also we use the word archan to mean worship. Archan is typically what we think of when we're offering ghee lamps, offering articles to the deities. So what is then the difference between bhajan and archan? And what Maharaj replied is that bhajan is sadhan performed with realization. So one is performing it with from my understanding of what he was saying, is that one is performing the practices, the limbs of bhakti, with realization of the fruits, not only of the fruits, but realization of what they're doing, why they're doing it, and their relationship, because we have of their relationship. And forgive me, everybody, I'm also doing my best to not do so many Sanskrit terms, just because we're in a very mixed room. So, we say the Hare Krishna mantra so much so that we are known as the Hare Krishnas. So we will get into Krishna Namashtakam. So in the first verse he says, O Harinam, I take complete shelter of you. The nails of your lotus feet are worshipped by the radiance emanating from the necklace of jewels known as the Upanishads, which are the crown jewel of all the Shrutis. So the Shrutis are the Vedic scriptures. They are, and Veda means knowledge. So the Shrutis are the scriptures of knowledge, both transcendental and material knowledge. They cover all knowledge. And so the topmost of that is this Harinam. It's the ultimate crown jewel within the revealed knowledge. And you are also worshipped by the liberated sages. So those persons who no longer are attached to the sufferings of the material world, they're no longer under control of the modes, of the pullings and pushings of this material world. They're worshipping this holy name. And again, to reiterate, this name is non-different from the supreme source of all love and affection himself, also known as God. O Harinam, you who are sung by the sages, you who have assumed the form of the best syllables to give great happiness to the devotees, all glories to you. Which I then immediately think of, we sing these 8 verses given to us by Lord Chaitanya, who is the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, himself manifest in the present age that we live in. What he says is that there are 7 effects of chanting the holy name, which is it cleanses the mirror of the heart. So I don't want to. I'm also like thinking about time, so forgive me if I'm going too fast. And if there's anything that I'm too fast on, please just raise your hand and say, actually, what does that mean? So it cleanses the mirror of the heart. It extinguishes the blazing forest fire of material existence, so it ends the suffering of our material condition. Extinguishes the blazing forest fire of material existence. It diffuses the moonbeams of Bhav upon the white lotus of good fortune, so it brings transcendental emotions into the heart, and then then the heart then blossoms from those transcendental emotions. Emotions in the heart. It is the consort of all knowledge. So one then gains all material and transcendental knowledge. Yeah, but I don't know the translation for that. I'm not that fast. It's an ocean of nectar. An ocean of nectar. So eventually we're able to taste the sweet mellows of the holy name, of our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just by chanting the name. At every step that we take, we experience increased satisfaction and increased bliss. We are fully bathed, purified, and soothed inside and out. And and it soothes the soul completely and totally. So those are the glories of the name. Now I feel very strange sitting on this chair, but I am just accepting. It's because thanks. So may your supremacy always be manifest. If you are spoken just once, even disrespectfully or in jest, You absolve all of one's frightful sins at the root. And so this is what I was referring to before of how the name is so merciful that even if a person is saying it in jest, even if it's somebody saying, Hare Krishna, wah, wah," like they're actually gaining benefit and they can actually say it properly somehow. That even if they're saying it in jest or in anger, they actually could say it in such a way that it's offenseless and they have all of their sins burned. There's a story, an example of that, a history given in Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the literary incarnation of Krishna himself. And in the 6th canto, which we were just recently reading, where am I at? Oh, I'll no, I'll be more concise. So there's Ajamil. There's Ajamil, who's he was born to a very pious family, but then he ended up falling for a prostitute. And then he ended up drinking a whole lot. He ended up doing a whole lot of bad things. But one thing is he named his 10th son Narayana, which is a name of Krishna. It means he's the shelter of all human beings. And as he was dying, he was so in love with his son, so much affection for his son, attached to his son. He cried out, Narayana! I like to leave said it that way. And it was without any offenses. And even though he thought he was calling out for his child, it liberated him from all of his sins. That when the messengers of death came to grab his soul, in fact, he was seeing them. I think that might have been why he yelled out. 4 messengers of the Supreme Personality of Godhead came instead and said, no, 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 he doesn't go to hell anymore. He said, actually, he gets liberated. And so that's how powerful the name is. So this next verse, this 3rd verse, talks about that stage of chanting Nam Abbas. So it's a semblance of the holy name. I didn't speak about how there's 3 stages of the name. I spoke about this last week. And I was thinking for time. Basically, there's what's the most preliminary stage where we're just saying, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Have you heard me chanting before? Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram. You're chanting. The name, like the sounds and syllables are there, but there's so much other things on the heart that it's not even close to pure. Like there are 10 offenses that are listed, and these things then are like wounds on the heart. And through the process of chanting as well as other limbs of bhakti, those wounds are actually like completely miraculously healed over. And from then we can start chanting in such a pure way that it becomes what's called Namabas, so a shadow of the pure name. And the pure name is our ultimate goal, which comes even understandably over much more time. So when we get to that point where we can chant even an Habas, so even just a shadow of the pure holy name, it says that, O son of Bhagavan's holy names, even that shadow, that semblance of your names, swallows up the darkness of ignorance, blinding the conditioned souls, thus enabling them to envision Hari Bhakti. So by chanting regularly, and then by having that heart cleanse, as we get to that point where where the semblance of the name appears, it becomes possible for us to envision what bhakti, what true devotion to the Lord actually looks like. It actually dispels all of that darkness of ignorance. So we learn from the scriptures that we are bound by our samskara, by our past impressions and our past actions. These past conceptions are very cloudy in how we are seeing the world. We only see. I know I should only speak for myself. Fine. I don't. If you're all pure devotees, then I don't know why you're listening. Anyway, I only see the world as through a material senses. Even on my best of days, it's still just from it's still just a material perspective. Uh, the most pure conception and the best that I can do is attempt to use my intelligence to recall what the scriptures would say about any certain situation. And eventually that develops into what's called Gyan Shastra, Shastra Chakshu. So one seeing through the eyes of scripture. Uh, in the meantime, what I have found is that it's the intelligence that needs to draw upon it to then understand what is the proper way, what is the proper conception, what is the proper way to understand what is happening around me. And all those misconceptions that require the intelligence are that darkness of ignorance blinding my soul. And those conceptions are what becomes eradicated through the chanting and process of bhakti. So, on that note, I have spoken for 15 minutes. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak over. Vanchakalpatirubhyascha kripasindubhyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
So far we've done Gadagraja and Haridasa.
Well, then we need to move on.
Yeah,
because people lined up.
Ragamandi?
Can I speak tonight?
No,
Not really
because
ready.
Vasanti and Shamrandi will speak. But if you're
And also we have tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll do tomorrow.
okay. Madhu is not, I think I don't know where he went, so I'll speak then, I guess.
Smokey's ready too. and
Oh,
so-
she is? No, okay. And Sharada tomorrow morning, same topic. Then I'll speak something. Namastrastam manumapi satiputram matra swarupam rupam tasya grajam urupurim maturim goshtavatim radhakundam girivaramo radhika madhavasham prapto yasya pratita kripaya shri gurum tam natosmi. First I offer my humble obeisances unto my Guru Pad Padma Om Vishnu Pada Stotara Satri Shrimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Ban Gosai Maharaj, simultaneous to my Shiksha Guru Devi Shri Shrimati Shamrani Didi, to whole Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, especially to Param Guru Dev Shri Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj, Shri Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj, Shri Bhaktivedanta Bharati Gosai Maharaj, and to Shri Rupa Goswami Pad on his Maha Mahotsav. So, and all the devotees, Dandavad Pranams. Hare Krishna. So, I'm kind of in the spontaneous zone because Sharada will speak on the Priya Soyam topic. So I was thinking there's a very beautiful verse that Kavi Karnapur composed. It goes, Priya Svarupe, Daita Svarupe, Prema Svarupe, Sahajavirupe, Nijanurupe, Prabhureka Rupe, Tatana Rupe, Swavilasa Rupe. About Rupa Goswami. A very beautiful verse. Kavi Karnapur is expert in his poetry, actually. And I was hearing Ananda Vrindavan Champu, the Julan pastime last night on Madhukar Prabhu's recording. Is so nice, so sweet. His descriptions and his inspiration, for these pastimes. And so he's saying here about Srila Rupa Goswami, Priya Swarupe. He is the nearest and dearest of Swarup Damodar Goswami, who is the nearest and dearest of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As like they have the same form, So Priya Swarupe, when in the spiritual sense, when someone is so dear to your heart, it's like they manifest that form as to serve perfectly in that world. So Rupa Manjari is the perfect servant of Lalita Devi, and non-different in roop and form of Srimati Radhika. In this way, she knows the exact heart of Srimati Radhika and can always manifest service in this way. And we know Swarup Damodar to be Lalita Saki in Gaur Lila. And so that relationship is very sweet because simultaneously there is relation in Gaur Lila and Radha and Krishna Lila as the nearest and dearest Sakis of Srimati Radhika. So Priya Svarupe, Daita Svarupe, Prema Svarupe, Sahajabi Rupe. And it's said that he's in Srila Gurudev Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj's commentary on this verse, he mentions that he fully manifested the heart's desire of Srila Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First by actually manifesting the Upadeshamrita. This was like his biggest contribution to sadhaks. That's why he's said to be the Abhideya Tattva Acharya, meaning the process, how to attain the goal. So Didi will speak on this later, tomorrow. So he composed this Upadeshamrita, Priya Svarupe, Daita Svarupe, Prema Svarupe. He's the embodiment of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic love of God, he's said to be. The Rupa Goswami manifested exactly Mahaprabhu's heart in all the literatures that we hear about, Lalit Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav. He thought, I will write a beautiful play, drama for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pleasure. And so he composed these very beautiful dramas, Lalit Madhav, talking about the pastimes of Dwarka. And actually Satyabhama came to him and told him in a dream, you must separate the pastimes of Dwarka Lila, Krishna, and Satyabhama, and the queens of Dwarka, and the Vrindavan pastimes. Because Vrindavana parityaja pada ekam nagachyati. Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna, he never leaves Vrindavan actually. And so it's interesting because Kavi Karnapur never even mentioned any of the Dwarka pastimes, only the sweet pastimes of Vrindavan in his book. Because devotees, pure devotees, they actually can't tolerate seeing Radha and Krishna separate. Only the eternal associates of Radha and Krishna, they're constantly absorbed in the meeting of Radha and Krishna, trying to arrange their meeting in their sweet intimate services like this. And so for a pure devotee, somebody who's on that highest elevated platform of internal realized service to God, then they're fully absorbed in this mood. And so actually Rupa Goswami, Rupa Goswami, he's actually giving one point that separation mood is actually important for our bhajan. In the highest moods, actually, this separation mood, he explains that this is what burns our subtle and gross bodies. This mood of separation in the heart fueling that fire eventually leads us to love of God. So part of it is nourishing that mood, he explains. And though Kavi Karnapur, he's also pure devotee, but doesn't want to touch the separation moods of Shri Radha and Krishna, or even their own separation from Radha and Krishna. But Rupa Goswami specifically in his lineage is giving this mood, even to Raghunath Das Goswami, how he's praying to Srimati Radhika, Tavai Vasmi, Najivami Tayavina, you are my life and soul, I have no one other than you. And as soon as he enters the pastime, he falls out of the pastimes and he's rolling on the ground in separation, external consciousness. And so in this way, they're teaching us as we're aspiring sadhaks on this path that we do have to nourish this mood of separation as well, And in this way, we can achieve something. Then in this shloka, Tatana Rupe Prabhu Eka Rupe, he has the same form as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And simultaneously, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Srimati Radhika. So he's tasting these moods, and Sri Rupa Goswami is nourishing these moods in that way. And he's simultaneously, they have a very similar form. As like his heart manifest externally as Rupa Goswami. And then he came to write all the literatures. And Tatana Rupe Swavilasa Rupe, he manifested all the sweet pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna in this world. That's how we know about the sing even Julan Yatra, to even to sing about all the glories of Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, these beautiful songs. Jai Jai Sundarananda Kumar, Radhe Jai Jai Madhava Daite, and so many deep explanations in each song. We could go for many hours talking about Srila Rupa Goswami and his deep contribution. And it's a very beautiful point. Rupa Nuga lineage is yeah, I could go on for many hours, but I'll cut it short. How much more time do I have?
Are you giving everyone 15 minutes?
Not really, just kind of wherever
As much
they
as you
end.
want.
Okay.
I mean, up to 15 minutes.
So another point he mentions here is actually in this sloka Daita Svarupe, that Daita means dear one, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati is Sri Varshabhanavi Devi Daita, the servant of one who is dear to Sri Varshabhanavi Devi, Srimati Radhika. So namely, this is actually speaking about Sri Rupa Manjari. In this way, we worship Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that he is the nearest and dearest servant of Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Rupa Manjari. It's very nice. And he's saying also the attainment of the shelter of the lotus feet of Rupa Manjari is the highest perfection of life. We pray for nothing else. So it's very simple, actually. We're always thinking, okay, so much sastra is giving so many different topics on how to perform sadhana. What is our dharma? Oh, do I take grihastha, brahmacharya? All these things, But very simply, Srila Gurudev is saying that our only aspiration, our highest aspiration, may be that we attain the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari. This is the highest thing. So if we have a set goal, naturally, everything will fall into place on how to attain that goal. And we hear that it doesn't take sukriti, it doesn't take many, many lifetimes, only this greed to have it. Krishna bhakti rasabhavitamati, kriyatam yadi kutopi labhite, tatra lolyam mulam ekalam, janma koti sukriterna labhite. It doesn't matter how many lifetimes you have, how much understanding you have, just about this greed. So that's a very beautiful point you're mentioning. And just the greed to have it is Rupanuga, And we hear the difference also of Raganuga and Rupanuga, this spontaneous devotion following under guidance of one of the eternal associates of Braj. If we aspire for the mood of mother towards Krishna, love of God in the form of motherly affection, then we follow under guidance of Yashoda Maya. So we are coming in the Rupanuga Guru Varga. So we follow in the mood of service that which is Rupa Manjari. And for the jiva, is the highest attainment is Manjari Bhav. And this also Bhav can be reflected here in our attitude in this world, actually. Trinadapi sunichana tarodi vasaishnana amani namanadena kirtaniya sadahari. Meaning that one must feel lower, one must feel lower than a blade of grass, because when a blade of grass is stepped on, it pops right back up. But when we get stepped on, we should fall and stay down in that position. In Trinadapi sunichana tarodi vasahishnana, one must be more tolerant than a tree. Even the tree is being beaten, chopped at, picked at, cut. It never protests. It can only remain silent in any of these circumstances. And what does the tree do? It bears fruit, big, beautiful fruit. And so even though it's being abused constantly by the wind, the forces, the people writing, etching their name into the tree, still the tree doesn't say anything. It only gives sweet fruit for everyone to relish. And amani namana dena, meaning giving due respect to all living entities, especially to the high class devotees, and serving under their guidance is true amanina manadena. Without under guidance, how possible we're really honoring living entities? Because without their guidance, we can't even perceive what is the Lord manifest in the heart of all the living entities. So naturally, the jiva wants love. This is a natural position of the jiva, is to seek bliss. The soul wants bliss. So any place that is given, that's the amanina manadena, the deliverance of love to all the living entities, is respect, actually. and Kirtaniya Sadahari, then one is qualified to chant the holy names in pure bliss all the time. Pratipadam Purnamritasvaranam. Every step comes more and more nectar, complete nectar to taste, like this. And so this is actually Manjari Bhav, it's explained. This mood, and in following under guidance like this, under acharyas who have realized this mood and are delivering this mood with every speech from their heart, raises like beams of this mood. And so developing this mood is also our desired aspiration. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuveva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Thank you to you and Haridas. I'm sorry I didn't hear yours. So is Madhu ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Haridas Prabhu, are you able to look at pictures or something?
Who wrote the Priya Swarupe? Who wrote the Priya Swarupe? Everyone will be happy to learn that verse and its translation.
It's very beautiful.
One Rupa Goswami's disappearance day festival, Gurudev spent the whole lecture speaking about the verse.
Rupa Goswami. He's on the altar, the far left, the 6 white dress. There. There's also maybe some photos there.
Yeah, not yet. Okay. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvyev cha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namaha Namarisheshtam Manamapin Sachiputra Matra Swarupam Rupa Tasya Rupa Tasya Agarjam Urupurim Maturim Gustavitim Radhakundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasam Yasya Prapto Pratita Kripaya Shri Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmin. First of all, I'd like to offer my humble, respectful obeisances unto my Guru Padma, Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Van Goswami Maharaj, simultaneously unto my Shiksha Guru Devi, Srimati Shamarani Didi, as well as my Guru, Param Guru Devs, Sri Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, Sri Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Sri Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And I want to offer my respects and obeisances to all of you assembled devotees. I'm very much unqualified to have opportunities to speak, yet some great fortune has befallen on me. So for my own purification of my tongue, I'll give it a shot. So I chose this topic of Rupa Goswami because
Closer.
I chose this specific topic of Rupa Goswami because somehow I got such a great opportunity when I was in India. I spent right after Jagannath Rath Yatra time, so it was not a parikram time in West Bengal and Mayapur. I had the opportunity to spend 2 weeks in West Bengal, and during that time I had met a great sannyasi who is a disciple of Bhakti Ballabh Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. His name is Bhakti Surit Paramadwaiti Maharaj. He built the samadhi that was just installed there, the beautiful honorific resting place of his Guru Maharaj. And he was instructed before his Guru Maharaj left this world to start a center in Mumbai. But for the past 6 years, he's been in Mayapur building this samadhi, and it just finished. And somehow I met him right around that time when he was finishing and about to leave to Mumbai. And for his own inspiration, he and one other sannyasi decided to take a trip to Ramkeligram before they leave Mayapur. And they've never been, so it was really a really great opportunity. It was me, one other devotee, and 2 sannyasis. I got to go and visit this place where Sri Sanatana Goswami and Srila Rupa Goswami first met with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I have some pictures, so I'll read a little bit from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the conversation in which Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami had with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu upon their first meeting. And we all have heard many glories of Sri Rupa Goswami as the highest Vaishnava in our line, that we're all Rupanugas following in his footsteps. But it's amazing to see how extremely humble and how deeply saturated with the feeling of being unqualified. This is something that's very confusing coming into bhakti, seeing how the more advanced the Vaishnava, the less qualified they feel. But this is exemplified in the behavior of Srila Rupa Goswami. So having a little backstory, I chose to speak about the backstory of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Rupa Goswami before becoming Rupa Goswami. His name was Dabir Kas. He was working in Ramkeligram, which was the place where there was like a governmental magistrate in the Muslim royal house, the kingdom that was ruling over that territory in India at that time. They had their office and the courthouse and all of these things like that were in this area near Malda in West Bengal. It's about 4 hours by train to get to Malda from Navadvip, and then there's some rickshaw time to get to Ramkeligram. And he was very, very wealthy, and he was so valuable to the king at the time, I think Hussein Shah, right? And Hussein Shah, though he was Muslim, and or Dabir Kas, he actually, before his name was Santosh, but they gave him the name Dabir Kas because they were all practicing in the Muslim thing, and they gave him Muslim name. And he was so valuable to the king because of his such high intellect that he was his minister, and anything he said, the king would go with. And it starts with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to Vrindavan. In Madhya Lila, the chapter where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to Vrindavan, the king, as he's coming through with so many disciples following, the king hears about this person, this personality, this mendicant who's coming, but not a normal mendicant, who's coming with such a strong, powerful force of devotion and the devotees. And he's inquiring and hearing from one minister, his name is Keshava Chatri. Keshava Chatri informed the king that, oh, you don't have to worry about him. You just try to kind of circumvent speaking about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not having faith in the power of hearing the glories of the pure devotees of the Lord and hearing the glories of the Lord, but speaking in a way which is out of not wanting to speak about anything that would be different because he was afraid that the king would not want to have him come through the kingdom, something like this. So he circumvented, he said, oh, this person, you don't have to worry about him, he has no great qualities. And then Srila Rupa Goswami, or at the time Dabir Kas, he spoke to the king and he said all these amazing qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, he said to the king, after being pacified by Keshav Chatri, who actually requested that the king has a messenger go to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then request him to leave. But in private, then the king, he inquired from Dabir Khas, and he spoke about the glories of the Lord. Sri Rupa Goswami said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, directly to the king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gave you this kingdom and whom you accept as a prophet, has taken birth in your country due to your good fortune. This prophet always desires your good fortune. By his grace, all your business is successful, and by his blessings, you will attain victory everywhere. Why are you questioning me? Better that you question your own mind, because you are the king of the people. You are the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you can understand this better than I. Srila Rupa Goswami informed the king that his mind as a way of knowing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, informed him about his mind as a way of actually knowing the Lord. He assured the king that whatever occurred in his mind could be considered evidence. So encouraging the king to meditate on the Lord. And then the king replied, I consider Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's no doubt about it. Haribol! Okay, and then after having this conversation, Rupa Goswami and the king entered in their private house. And then Dabir Khas also returned to his residence. And when we returned to the residence, him and his brother, Sri Sanatan Goswami, after much consideration, they decided to go incognito to see the Lord. They it wasn't something that was expressed to the king, and they obviously aren't supposed to go see a Hindu saint being like the prime ministers of the Muslim king when there's so much political unrest between the things. But they decided to go incognito to see the Lord, and they had a famous supplication of their selves at his lotus feet at the Kelly Kadamba, which, if you want, I could show the tree. It's beautiful. It's the one with the big Mahaprabhu deity in front. So thus in the dead of night, the two brothers, Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik, also known as Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Keep going. Yeah, down. Oh, no, down. Down. That one. So this is actually the tree, the Tamal tree, in which they fell down at Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. And then there's maybe one picture after this where you can see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's footprints melted in the rock when he was hearing their, this one right here. Yeah. So, and also I was saying how Mahaprabhu was on his way to Vrindavan. Before coming to Ram Keligram, he stopped at this one place, Kanai Natshal. It says in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And having gone there, I also got one picture if you want to see it. But anyways, back to the beautiful story. So, in the dead of night, the two brothers, Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik, they went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incognito. First they met Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that two personalities, Sri Rupa and Sanatan, had come to see him. In great humility, both the brothers took bunches of straw between their teeth, and each binding a cloth around their neck, fell down like rods before the Lord, doing dandavats.
I'd have to see it.
Upon seeing the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the two brothers were overwhelmed with joy, and out of humility they began to cry. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to get up and assured them all good fortune. The two brothers got up, and again taking straw between their teeth, they humbly offered their prayers with folded hands. It goes thus. All glory is to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful savior of the fallen souls. All glory is to the Supreme Personality. Sir, we belong to the lowest class of men, and our associates in employment are also of the lowest type. Therefore, we cannot introduce ourselves to you. We feel very much ashamed standing here before you. Dear Lord, let us inform you that there is no one more sinful than us, nor is there any offender like us. Even if we wanted to mention our sinful activities, we would immediately become ashamed. And what to speak of giving them up? We wouldn't even speak of them. The two brothers submitted. Dear Lord, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. You should consider that in this world there's none so fallen as us. You have delivered the two brothers, Jagai and Madai. But to deliver them, you did not have to exert yourself very much. The brothers Jagai and Madhai belonged to the Brahmin caste, and their residence was in the holy place of Navadvip. They never served low-class persons, nor were they instruments to abominable activities. But Jagai and Madai had one fault. They were addicted to very sinful activity. However, volumes of sinful activity can be burned to ashes simply by a dim reflection of the chanting of your holy name. Jagai and Madai uttered your holy name by way of blaspheming you. Fortunately, that holy name became the cause of their deliverance. We too are millions and millions of times inferior to Jagai and Madai. We are more degraded, fallen, and sinful than they. Just look at the deep mood of humility from pure devotee. Actually, we belong to the caste of meat eaters because we are the servants of meat eaters. Indeed, our activities are exactly like those of the meat eaters because we always associate with such people. We are inimical towards the cows and brahmanas. The two brothers, Sakar and Malik and Dabir Kas, very humbly submitted that due to their abominable activities, they were now bound by the neck and hands and had been thrown into a ditch filled with abominable stool-like objects of material sense enjoyment. No one within the three worlds is sufficiently powerful to deliver us. You are the only savior of the fallen souls. Therefore, there is no one but you. If you simply deliver us by your transcendental strength, then certainly your name will be known as Patitapavan, the savior of fallen souls. Let us speak one word that is very true. Plainly hear us, O merciful one. There is no other object of mercy within the three worlds but us. We are the most fallen. Therefore, by showing us your mercy is most successful. Let the power of your mercy be exhibited throughout the entire universe. Let us submit one piece of information before you, dear Lord. It is not all false. It is not at all false, but it is full of meaning. If it is this, if you are not merciful upon us, then it will be very, very difficult to find more suitable candidates for your mercy. We are very depressed at being unfit candidates for your mercy. Yet since we have heard of your transcendental qualities, we are very much attracted to you. Indeed, we are like dwarf who wants to capture the moon. Although we are completely unfit, a desire to receive your mercy is awakening within our minds. By serving you constantly, one is freed from all material desires and is completely pacified. When shall I engage in your permanent eternal servant and always feel joyful having such a fitting master? After hearing the prayer of Dabir Kas and Sakar Malik, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, My dear Dabir Kash, you two brothers are my old servants. My dear Sakar Malik, from this day your names will be changed to Srila Rupa and Srila Sanatan. Now please abandon your humility, for my heart is breaking to see you so humble. You have written several letters showing your humility. I can understand your behavior from those letters. By your letters I could understand your heart. Therefore, in order to teach you, I sent you one verse which reads as follows. If a woman is attached to a man other than her husband, she will appear very busy in carrying out her household affairs. But within her heart, she is always relishing feelings of association with her paramour. This is something way higher than my pay grade, but this is actually the mood of what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming to bring, this paramour mood. I really had no business in coming to Bengal. He was trying to go to Vrindavan. But I have come just to see you two brothers. And all the people who were witnessing this, Maharaj, Bhakti Surit Paramadvaiti Maharaj, he was saying all of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates were completely stunned because these people looked like totally Muslim dressed. They had really long beards and they didn't have sikha and they didn't look like devotees. And they came and they just submit themselves like this, so much heartfelt, like everybody was weeping. I really had no business coming Bengal. Everyone is asking why I have come to this village of Ramkelly. No one knows my intentions. It is very good that you two brothers have come to me, to see me. Now you can go home. Do not fear anything. Birth after birth, you have been my eternal servants. I am sure that Krishna will deliver you very soon. Then the Lord placed his two hands on the heads of both of them, and in return they immediately placed the lotus feet of the Lord on their heads. After this, Lord embraced them and requested all of the devotees to be present to be merciful upon them and deliver them. When all the devotees saw the mercy of the Lord upon the two brothers, they were very much gladdened, and they began to chant the holy name of the Lord. Hari! Hari! All Vaishnava associates of the Lord were present, including Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, Srivas Thakur, Gadadhar Pandit, Mukunda, Jagadananda, Murari, Vrakeshwar. In accordance with the instructions of Mahaprabhu, the two brothers, Rupa and Sanatan, immediately touched the lotus feet of all of these Vaishnavas, who became very happy and congratulated the two brothers for having received the mercy of the Lord. After begging the permission of all the Vaishnavas present, the two brothers, at the time of their departure, humbly submitted something at the lotus feet of the Lord. They said, "Dear Lord, although the king of Bengal, Nawab Hussain Shah, is very respectful towards you, you have no other business here. Kindly depart from this place." Okay, so that was the main thing that I wanted to bring up. There's so much nectar there in the very first meeting of Srila Rupa Goswami with Srila Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and so much mood of the high class Vaishnava Sadhachar is imbued within this. How they excuse themselves, how they supplicate themselves to the Lord and say, "Oh Lord, I am the most fallen. Since you're the Patita Pavan, there's no greater candidate for your mercy than me." If we pray like this, who knows what bounds our bhakti can go to. So I thought it was very interesting that I got this opportunity. My Gurudev said that it's mercy of Srila Sanatana Goswami. So here's the Kadamba Kelly tree. We can see a few pictures now. So go down. I want to first show the temple. Go down, 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 down. Okay, so this is in Ramkeligram, the jailhouse of Sri Sanatana Goswami, where they put him in prison. But this isn't exactly it. The next one is where the temple starts. So this is the deities in which Sanatana Goswami and Srila Rupa Goswami worshipped. You can go to the next one. It gets a little closer. This is the first. Yeah, it's really far. Madan Mohan, Radha Madan, up. There you go. Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai. Shri Rupa and Sanatan installed and worship these deities themselves. And they're very sweet. Next one. Next one. Okay. So these are also, this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Advaita, and Sri Nityananda that was installed by Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, and worshipped personally by Sanatana Goswami. And next one. Oh, wait, go down. This one is really special. This is Balaram Revati, installed by Sanatana Goswami.
I always thought it was so interesting how they worshipped Mahaprabhu deities, even though Mahaprabhu was present in the world at the time. Like Gauridas Pandit also. I think it's like so amazing.
Yeah. And okay, this sweet blue Gopal, they found this under the ground where they excavated to make this temple. It was just buried under the ground. So, oh wait, go back. This is really cool. These are all shaligrams that belong personally to the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah, these belongs personally to he told which ones were which, but they were actually, very high. And there's a little video. Oh yeah, this is the Pujari. It's in Hindi, but you can get a little mercy. He's saying how Ramchandra came in Treta Yuga to this place. It's amazing you're just right there. Anyways, there was 8 lakes that they dug around that temple area that were kuns for each of the 8 principal sakis. So they were totally, even though they were there at that location for that period of time, they were meditating always that they were in Vrindavan, being eternal associates of the Lord. With that, I will conclude. Please forgive me for any mistake. If that was my fault. Any good thing came from Srimati Shamarani. Hare Krishna.
Panchakoptari Vyasta Kripasinubhyevacha Pavane Bhyo.
Vaishnavebhyo namo.
Good, Manu. Anybody else is ready today? Would you like to speak tomorrow, Anita? You ready? Hmm? Are you ready? Are you ready enough to speak? Hmm? I say you are. I think you are. Let's go. Speak very loudly in the mic. Close to the mic.
I don't know, where did it go? I just lost my thing. Uh-oh. I guess, whatever. I guess I'm gonna have to deal with my notes. Okay. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. First of all, I pay my humble obeisances to my Diksha Guru, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj, and to my dearmost Shiksha Guru Devi, Srimati Shamarani Didi. And to all the present devotees, please forgive me for all the mistakes I'm going to make, and anything good that I say is from Guru Devi. And okay, so basically, Tirthapad touched on it a little bit when Srila Rupa Goswami was heading to Jagannath Puri to meet with Mahaprabhu. He had this desire to write like this drama about the meeting pastimes in Vrindavan with Radha and Krishna, and then also later on when Krishna goes to becomes the prince of Dwarka, and then he wanted to explain how the gopis and Srimati Radhika expanded themselves to continue being together with Krishna in Dwarka, and with this as his 16,108 queens. And so then he arrives at Satyabhama Pur, and then Srimati Satyabhama Devi, she tells him that he should not
They
make
met
this.
together
Well, no, he gets a vision, and so
like a dream.
yeah, like a dream. and so she tells him, you can't do this in one drama, you have to separate it into 2. And So then he gets this dream, and then when he arrives to Jagannath Puri, he meets with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he inquires to him about this, and then he confirms to him that this is what he must do. And so, wait. Oh yes, and so it is explained that during this pastime that because Krishna actually never leaves Vrindavan, and it is, and Srila Gurudev quotes this verse in where I got all this information from, that Yadu Kumar, or the Prince of Yadu, he only manifests his pastimes in Dwarka and Mathura, but the son of Nanda Maharaj, he never ever leaves Vrindavan. So therefore it has to be two different dramas, and these two dramas were called, just for the sake of it, Vidagna Madhav and Lalita Madhav. And so yeah, and then so Tirthapad also spoke on this. This is also a way that Srila Goswami is manifesting the heartfelt desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he also quoted something by Kavi Karnapur from Ananda Vrindavan Champu. And this writing actually only goes up to the Ras Leela and the swing pastimes of Sri Krishna, and he also explained that it's because the pure devotees can barely tolerate this mood of separation because it's so high and intense. And so, because Srila Rupa Goswami received a single drop of the mellows of transcendental devotional service from from Sri Man Mahaprabhu, he knows all of the fullness of what he wanted to bring, which is Paraki above. And so Paraki above is the highest manifestation of Madhurya Prem, which is the romantic mood. And this is the mood that Radha and Krishna relish, and the mood that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is relishing within his heart. And so where am I going now? Then so this is important because it is explained that without the mood of separation, the mood of meeting, the meeting cannot get to higher and higher stages of divine bliss. And what else? From the lecture that I studied this from, Srila Gurudev tells the poem that Sriman Mahaprabhu said while he was dancing in front of the Ratha Yatra cart. And I did not memorize this, and I had it on my phone, but it went away. And it'll probably just take too much time to look for it again. But, it's basically he's reciting this mundane poem that is talking about basically the mood of paramour lovers, and he's not necessarily specifically saying the name of Radha and Krishna, but the only two people present who could understand this was Swarup Damodar and thank you. It's already here. So he says, that very personality who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlit nights of the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of malati flowers is there. The same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover, yet my mind is not happy here. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the Reva, under the Vetasi tree. This is my desire. So, hearing this, no, like, who could possibly understand what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was talking about? So, knowing the heart of him, Srila Rupa Goswami then he writes a verse actually spoken by Srimati Radhika on the field of Kurukshetra, and I don't know if you have that already. Oh, okay, great. So she'll talk about that, and so yeah, I guess she'll read about that, and I don't know how long I've been speaking. But yeah, this is this pastime about Satyabham Pur, and did I cover enough?
Do you have more?
I mean, I did, but I lost it. It was on my phone.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you.
Even if somebody said it, it's okay because number one, we forget a minute after they say it. Prabhupada said, if I ask you to repeat what I said 3 minutes ago, you'd have to dread your memory because you're constantly changing bodies. And as the body changes, we forget. When it completely changes and you're another baby, you have totally forgotten everything. All right.
Okay,
so
thank you.
Besides the fact that we forget, it's important to hear again and again. But you said that he came to give paramour love. You gave the example of the girl who said, I've again met my master. Did he just come to give paramour love to you?
No, he came to give the mood of service, of devotional service to that. And that's exemplified by Srila Rupa Goswami. And that's why we follow him.
Is Nitai speaking this morning? Because he's going to be cooking, all right. Yeah, because he's going to be speaking about that very verse, Anarpaticharing Charat, why Mahaprabhu came. And Gurudev said he didn't come to give Unat Ujjvala Ras or paramour love, but he came to give the beauty, Swabhakti Sriyam. He came to give the beauty of that love. And the beauty of that love is the maidservants, as you said, of that love. So hopefully that'll be expressed clearly, word for word, tonight. You didn't know that? Unat Ojjvala Rasam Swabhakti Sriyam. Swabhakti is Krishna's own bhakti, Srimati Radhika, and then her paramour love, which is the most brilliant, effulgent love possible. But Mahaprabhu didn't donate that to the jivas. He came to contribute the beauty of that love. What's the beauty? You want to hear something interesting about the peepal tree? So, because we have a peepal tree out front, did you see it? So it has these big leaves with points, and whenever a wind blows, the leaves dance. So Gurudev is explaining from that verse that without the leaves, and what to speak of if it had flowers, the air would not be interested in playing with the branches or the vines of a creeper. But it becomes beautiful when there's leaves and flowers and buds. And the air is very happy to play because it makes everything dance. So without the sakis, without Radhika being surrounded by her sakis, and in this case her manjaris, Radha and Krishna can't fully relish their pastimes of paramour love. So he came to give swabhakti, Radhika's love, the beauty or the leaves and flowers of that creeper. The creeper is Radhika. Does that make sense? Flowers, sakis, and manjaris. And then the bee is a similar analogy. The bee comes to the flower, and the flower has this thing coming out of it, stamen, or so the bee won't sit on that stamen because it's flopping everywhere. So the bee will sit on the flower because he can steadily sit on it. Similarly, Krishna cannot play with the stamen because it's the manjaris are saying, no, no. Why do you want to give me less pleasure of coming to me when what gives me more pleasure is when I can make you and Radharani meet. Get it? So the manjaris are also compared to the bee, to the stamen. Krishna is the bee, and Radha is the steady flower.
How much greater is the pleasure that they feel when Radha is meeting with Krishna than when they meet with Krishna?
Hundreds of times, men, more than that, or millions of times, because they have totally no interest in meeting with Krishna, not even a little bit interest. But still, Krishna tries, and sometimes he accomplishes part of his task, but they'll always push themselves away. There has to be something in it, otherwise they wouldn't be kamatmika. They would be sambandha as a friend. Are you ready to speak? Tomorrow? Okay. Yeah. Does that answer it? All right. Any questions? Okay. No questions?
I asked one question. Relatively related. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Prabhupada's Upadeshavali. Number 9, he says, serving the Brijavasis who felt great separation from Krishna when he left Braj, to reside in Mathura is our supreme constitutional occupation. How is that possible?
How does the sentence start?
Serving the Brijavasis who felt great separation from Krishna when he left Braj to reside in Mathura is our supreme constitutional occupation.
So what's the question?
It's just like,
Why is it confusing?
it's like, we always know Braj is our, Radha Krishna's pastimes in Braj. That's Krishna never even leaves Vrindavan. Swami
Right.
Bhagavan's there.
Right?
Radha Dasyam, the Sevakunj.
Right?
And all of a sudden here, Prabhupada is saying our supreme constitutional occupation is to serve them actually when they're in separation.
Yeah. So what's the problem?
I'm just curious about it.
Well, after Krishna left Vrindavan, he didn't really, but his manifestation. But without a sense of separation. That's why even though Kavi Karnapur and his Ananda Vrindavan Champu, he refused to write anything beyond. Was it you who said it? Or you who said yeah. He refused to write anything beyond the Rasa dance and the swing festival because he couldn't bear the separation of Radha and Krishna because he doesn't want Radharani to be sad. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, I cannot separate for a moment, but I would die millions of times just to see their happy meeting, right? So, but yet, without that separation, there can't be a complete sense of happiness. In meeting, something is lost because it's all external. It's not all external, they're internal and they're external are the same. But still something is lost. When there's separation, then you relive again and again the meeting. So separation is never without meeting in it. And meeting, the perfection of meeting, is not without a sense of separation or an anticipation of separation. Because so many wonderful pastimes happened because he went to Mathura to make the gopis happy, but sometimes Krishna makes mistakes too, and they became more unhappy. And that's why he married the queens, because they reminded him of the gopis. And then Nemi Maharaj asked Gurudev in relation to Ratha Yatra that Krishna is feeling so much separation, so he arranges, to take the chariot to Vrindavan. So he asked Gurudev, since Krishna is always remembering the gopis, even the queen said, we're lying down right next to him in the bed, and he's calling out Radhika, Radhike, Lalite, even the cows he's calling out to. So, and we're right here and we're the most beautiful. So Nemi Maharaj asked, since Krishna is like that, as you can read about in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, why is he Mataresh Krishna or Dwarkadish Krishna? Why isn't he Brajendra Nandan Sham Sundar, since he's always thinking of them? So Srila Gurudev said, because he's a Manjari himself, so he'll always be feisty and in protection of Radharani. Well, if he is, then why doesn't he go? He can't go because he can't leave Satyabhama, Rukmini, and so on. And he can't leave his friends there. So something's stopping him. So that sense of separation and meeting, like you quoted Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that meeting and separation and meeting and separation go hand in hand, higher and higher forever. It starts here, and that's why one of you mentioned that separation is very important in bhajan. And so we have to hear the pastimes of separation as well, and also feel separation from them, from service to them, as exemplified by Rupa Goswami. So does that make it more clear? And then, what was Krishna thinking? Why didn't he go back? He could have gone back just for some time to visit. But why didn't he go back? This is explained in the Ratha Yatra book, that if you have a burning pot and a burning pan, and you throw a drop or two of water, spritz a drop or two of water, is that going to cool off the pot? No. It sizzles. So similarly, if Krishna would go back for a visit, then they would be more in fear of imminent separation, and their misery would increase. So he wouldn't be making them happy. Then, there was one other point there. Yeah, it slipped. Even the short visit would make things worse. And then you have the pastimes in Dwarka, where Krishna's pretending to sleep in the morning, and he's hearing Baladev. Everyone's having an argument whether Krishna is merciful or ruthless. Balaram says, he promised me so many times that he's going to go back, but he never goes. His heart is so hard like a rock. And Uddhav was glorifying the Brijbasis, and Rohini was saying how terrible Krishna is, and Satyabhama was saying how merciful Krishna is because he's always remembering them. So all this tension of emotions, which is the base of bhakti pastimes. And then when Uddhav goes to meet the gopis and they have their conversation, and with so many things we can go on for hours. But do you get the point? There has to be separation. I forgot your question.
My question, I was just...
Oh yeah, why would we have as our goal to worship the Brijbasis who are feeling so much separation? Now, in Raghunath Das Goswami, the first and foremost Rupanuga, in his prayer that we generally like to say every day, remember that? No, it's in our Mangalacharana section. Nama Shrestam Manamapi Sachiputram Atra Swarupam. Rupam Tasyagrajam Udupurim Matarim. So the pastimes in Mathura, why should we be interested in that? I'm surrendering, I'm offering my obeisances in my heart. Why would he say Antamatarim? Because he's not interested in the Mathura pastimes except what it does to the exchange. Like when Radharani was speaking to the bumblebee, when Krishna was in Mathura, and Uddhav came, and he was astonished to see how she was half died, and she's speaking to a bumblebee, criticizing Krishna and then getting humble about it. And she's imagining Krishna in Mathura going from one princess to another, to try to break up her man. It's all in her imagination. But that's another feeling. You have to have they have an unlimited variety of feelings of meeting and separation. And then Gurudev also says that, it's in the art book, that we want to serve Radharani when she's in her mood of separation during the Rasa Leela, or when she's in Man. So there's an unlimited variety, because there has to be an unlimited variety of exchanges and feelings. Like here, it's just a really dull, perverted reflection of that. Hmm?
Would it be correct to say that Mandris are always like in this mood? Their service is to their service is to have the divine couple meet, and so if there was no separation, they wouldn't have service.
Oh, to meet.
Yeah, because they're constantly arranging for their meetings.
Right, so there has to be separation.
Right.
The Manjaris help when she's in Man, and they might even drag her, or when she's resistant to Krishna's passes. So they serve in all ways, yeah. So yes, you're correct. We can end. I just want to make a quick announcement that Dr. Om Prabhu offered yesterday to help with our, what do you call it? Because part of our, payment portal, because we're not very organized, and that, huh? Yes. Yeah, we're not very organized.